Good morning. This is Daniel Oki now. The topic for today is tribe. What does it mean to be a tribe? Before that, I'd like to play a song honoring our Lakota brother and sisters, especially Russell Means, who's passed on, also Richard Twist, a friend of my chief, who's crossed over. And so I'd like to play a little Lakota song just to honor them. What is a tribe? What comprises a tribe? Well, as I looked up the definition in various sources, a tribe was defined as a social group comprising numerous families, clans, or generations having common interests who live together in unified close communities, led by servant chiefs, clan mothers, and elders. Also, a human social group with a set of smaller bands having been integrated or defined by traditions of common descent, language, culture, and ideology. It's also a social group banded together who have a tribal calling or vision given by the Creator. So here's my question. Can a tribe still exist as a tribe when its individual members live in separation and division from each other? We know that there's been attempts by the settlers, the Western settlers, to do things like boarding schools to separate families, relocation to cities, relocation programs, also to put First Nations people on individual farms, individual lands, individual houses, and to assimilate them into Western culture. In other words, the main strategy here was to divide and conquer, and indeed they did. So do we have tribes today, really? Tribes who live together in unified close communities, led by servant chiefs, clan mothers, and elders. What I see today in most reserves is individuals who live in separate houses and separate lands, governed by authorities from the federal government, and setting up chiefs and administrations that are not appointed by clan mothers and elders, but rather done through popular elections and democracy. And I see more of a division in Native American land. So what do we need to do to restore tribal life to First Nations people? First of all, we need to reconnect with the original tribal calling or vision given to each tribe by the Creator. For instance, the Cherokee were given the vision of being the keepers of the flame. The Mohawk, the keepers of the flint. The Oneida, the tree of peace. The Mi'kmaq, the keepers of the Eastern Gate, people of the dawn. So we got to get back to the original tribal vision and calling given by the Creator. We also need to restore activities to rebond together as tribal people. The only rebonding I see takes place at public powwows and that sort of thing, which to me is good, but it's not there yet. We also need to see a restoration of our tribal languages. When I was up in the Oneida Reserve, I was privileged to be invited to the Longhouse, and in the Longhouse, for the first half hour, they spoke Oneida. I felt like the ancestors were showing up. Those former tribal members who had passed on were present there. Then a Seneca man stood up and spoke in Seneca for a half hour. To me, it was a moving ceremony. They did have translations, however. It's also a meeting together in traditional tribal settings. For instance, the longhouse is a traditional tribal setting. Things like mound ceremonies, stomp dance, and so on are traditional tribal settings. The Green Corn Festival, for instance. And so we need to continue to do that, meet together in traditional tribal settings. We need to have a restoration of worship dance to replace the financial competitions at powwows. We need to have more ceremonies, less public spectacles. An example of that is like the stomp dance that's done after the powwow, when everybody else has gone home. I also suggest that we have weekly informal drum powwows for natives only on Friday nights for singing chants, storytelling, and impartation of the wisdom of the elders. I think this would be good because we need a time just for us to get together. And if we got together like on a Friday night, which is a good night, which goes back to the Hebrew roots, and began to do drum chants and storytelling and impartation of the wisdom, then I think it would begin to restore tribal life back, because we've lost our sense of tribe. I also suggest that we hold monthly workshops on the impartation of native crafts, skills to younger tribal members. Basket weaving, blow dart guns. I'm a blow dart champion. I've won 5 years at powwows. How to make bows, arrows, and so on, points. So we need to have workshops on that. How to make drums the proper way with smudging and ceremony. I also suggest that we hold special events on teaching cultural skills and native dances, drum chants and blow dart skills and flute playing. And we need special events just to teach this to our youth, because we're losing our youth. Finally, I suggest holding workshops on gathering of roots and herbs and medicine from the forest, as well as native food preparation. So I think we need to come back together to our sense of tribal identity. We've lost it. We've been divided. And I don't think we are here to be conquered. We still remain. Our culture is still intact, but we've got to get back to rebuilding. And that's the whole purpose of me doing this Native American Wisdom for Cultural Restoration YouTube. And so have some thoughts about what is a tribe and how to get back to being tribal. Aho.